Hello everyone! The Burning Legion has invaded Azeroth once again, and mages, they're able to pick up 3 different artifacts to empower them in this war. For the Frost Mage, it's going to be Ebonchill, a great staff wielded by Elodai, the first guardian of Tirisfal. He passed it on to his favorite apprentice, who in turn passed it on to his favorite apprentice, and so on until it reached the Archmage Arexis. He disappeared sometime around the First War, and Meryl doesn't know anything about his fate, but the answers, they may well be somewhere in this library. That's where our search begins, so as we scour the notes to discover what happened to Arexis, let's cheat a little bit and talk about the history of this artifact. Elodai never knew his real parents. From infancy, he was raised in an orphanage for magically gifted children within the city of Dalaran. His only connection to his parents was Ebonchill, which they had left with the boy when they abandoned him at the school. His dubious parentage and mixed ancestry, it made life a little bit difficult for Elodai. Most magi, they pitied him, but others treated him with scorn. No one believed that he would rise to greatness, and they were mistaken. In time, the orphan would become the first guardian of Tirisfal, one of the most powerful magi to have ever lived. Elodai became this guardian at a dire time for the Council of Tirisfal. This secret order of magi, it was created to protect Azeroth from demons, and for many years its members succeeded in their quests. Then, a dreadlord named Kafrenatir changed everything. The demon infiltrated Dalaran, and he thwarted the Council's attempts at stopping him. Kafrenatir sowed unrest in the streets, threatening to engulf the city in turmoil. To defeat Kafrenatir, the Council of Tirisfal magi, they took drastic measures. Through a complex ritual, they infused all of their power into one single being, into the one single Elodai. This was an act of great trust and faith, and Kafrenatir was no match for the newly empowered Elodai. The Guardian unleashed his astonishing power on the demon, and he banished him from the world in short order. From his early days in the Dalaran orphanage, Elodai had been fascinated with frost magic. This was due in part to the icy enchantments woven into the weapon. With the staff, Elodai learned how to freeze water and manipulate the air temperature, and shortly after he became the Guardian, he honed his mastery of frost magic and imbued Ebonchill with his own powers. A wintry aura now enveloped the staff, and much to the astonishment of Elodai's companions on the Council of Tirisfal, the weapon never felt cold to the touch. Ebonchill contained only a sliver of Elodai's might, but even that was more than most magi could ever hope of wielding. Now during Elodai's time as a guardian, he used Ebonchill to hunt down every demon that stalked the lands of Azeroth. Many records tell of him calling down vicious ice storms to overwhelm his enemies, or encasing the Legion's agents in solid blocks of ice before exiling them from the world. Near the end of Elodai's 100 years of service as guardian, he turned his attention to his apprentices. He had trained and tutored many young magi in the ways of the arcane. They had become the family that he never had, and he treated them all as his own sons and daughters. He decided to pass on Ebonchill to one of these learned apprentices, and he did not choose the most powerful. What was more important to Elodai were compassion, wisdom, and camaraderie. After much consideration, he entrusted his great staff to the apprentice who most embodied these traits. All was well within the Council of Tirisfal until the rise of the Guardian Aequin. The gifted mage grew suspicious of the order. She believed that the Council was abusing its power by manipulating the politics of the human kingdoms. At the end of her 100 years of service, she refused to step down as the Guardian. Her disobedience eventually forced the Council's hand, and they formed the Tirisguard, a group of talented magi charged with hunting down and subduing the wayward Guardian. Among the Tirisguard was a promising but very arrogant young spellcaster named Tartan. His aging master had long ago inherited Ebonchill, and he was in the process of choosing which apprentice would take it up next. Tartan fully expected to receive the great staff. He eclipsed his fellow apprentices in raw power and potential, but Tartan's master put little weight in such things. When the day of the ceremony came, the elderly mage gave Ebonchill to another apprentice, one who embodied the qualities of compassion, wisdom, and camaraderie. After his master passed on Ebonchill to a different apprentice, Tartan wallowed in anger and bitterness. He believed that he had been wronged, and he was determined to prove himself. Tartan decided to steal Ebonchill from its new owner, taking great care to cover up evidence of his crime. In secret, he practiced with the great staff, and he learned to wield its extraordinary energies. Only a handful of Tartan's most trusted Tirisguard allies knew of his theft. They alone witnessed him bending Ebonchill's magics to his will, and they were in awe of the power at his fingertips. Once he was confident that he had mastered Ebonchill, Tartan set out to do what no other Tirisguard had thus far managed to do. He would defeat Aequin and forever etch his name in history. This next bit is an excerpt from a missive sent to the Council of Tirisfal. We have studied the residual magics at the battle site. Here's our assessment of what transpired. Tartan confronted Aequin in Stranglethorn Vale. In terms of the power used by the two magi, the duel that ensued was one of the greatest to have ever occurred between the Tirisguard and the renegade Guardian. but it was also one of the shortest. Tartan bore Ebonchill in battle. The Great Staff reported stolen some months ago. When he unleashed the weapon stored power on Aegwynn, she immediately turned the energies back on him with a counterspell. A storm of frost magic surged over Tartan, encasing him in a layer of diamond-hard ice. Despite the hot weather in the region, Tartan was still frozen solid when we found him. It took considerable effort to thaw his corpse and free Ebonchill from his lifeless hand. The Council of Tirisfal Magi, who recovered Ebonchill, they returned the Great Staff to its owner. Over the following years, the tradition of handing down the weapon from master to apprentice, that one continued. Many of these Magi, they used Ebonchill to protect Azeroth from demons, but not the human named Arexis. Arexis was a lover of knowledge. For days on end, he would lock himself in his personal archives, poring over ancient tomes and scrolls. When Ebonchill eventually passed on to him, he decided to study the Great Staff rather than wield it in battle. Arexis knew well about the weapon's history and its deadly potential. From his examinations, Arexis believed that he could employ Ebonchill as a catalyst to power great spells, feats of magic that normally only a Guardian would be capable of. Over time, he harnessed the weapon's energies, and he used that energy to research new types of warding spells. Arexis was living in a time of upheaval and turmoil for the Council of Tirisfal. The current Guardian was named Medivh, and he was the son of Aegwynn. Like his rebellious mother, he shunned the Council, and he largely kept to himself. Unbeknownst to the Council and the rest of the world was that a great evil stirred within Medivh's soul. The Dark Titan Sargeras, the leader of the Burning Legion, he had possessed the Guardian. Due to Sargeras' manipulations, Medivh forged a pact with the Orcish Horde and it began paving the way for its invasion into Azeroth. To prevent the Council from meddling in his affairs, the Darkened Guardian secretly assassinated some of his members, and Medivh's gaze soon fell upon Arexis and Ebonchill. In pursuit of his studies, Arexis gathered his apprentice Magi, and they established a research camp near Medivh's domain, the Tower of Karazhan. The structure was built atop a nexus of potent ley lines. The energies that course through the tower, they sometimes warped reality in the region. Arexis and his followers experimented with the warding magics outside of Karazhan, attempting to neutralize the tower's strange powers. The records indicate that the Guardian Medivh visited the Magi at this time, and he offered his advice. He suggested that Arexis could apply his warding spellwork in new ways, specifically to prevent demons from clawing into the world. Though some members of the Council of Tirisfal distrusted him, Arexis did not. He welcomed Medivh's support, and his trusting nature, that would eventually be his downfall. No one knows for sure what Medivh did during his visit with Arexis. The details are shrouded in mystery and hearsay. Some rumors claim that the Guardian altered Ebonchill so that it would disrupt Arexis' warding spells and destroy the venerated mage. Whatever the truth might be, it is known that Arexis heeded Medivh's advice. The elderly mage and his followers, they conducted a great ritual to protect an area from demonic incursions. The spell was only meant to be a test, but it had disastrous consequences. When the Magi began their casting, they inadvertently opened a path between Azeroth and the Twisting Nether. Arexis and all of his followers were ripped through the gateway and they were never seen again. One account states that within the Twisting Nether, a handful of demons fell upon the shocked Magi and they slaughtered them to the last. The demons were led by an Eredar known as Baladur. He took Ebonchill as a trophy of his bloody victory, and the ancient tradition of passing the Great Staff from master to apprentice, that died alongside Arexis and his doomed protege. Let's do our best to revive the tradition by hunting down the Mage Hunter. Meryl suggests that we should recreate Arexis' ritual and conduct it at an invasion point to attract Baladur's attention. He will likely try to ambush us, but we'll be ready to take him on, and in order to make the ritual work, we'll first have to gather a few things. First of all, we'll have to get our hands on Elodai's gems. When Arexis did the ritual, he had a bunch of apprentices and subordinates to help him with it, something that we are currently lacking. In older times, when magic was less understood and spells required vast amounts of mana to cast, mages used to store mana in gems for use in complex spells. Lucky for us, Elodai still has a few powerful mana gems locked away in his vault. All we need to do is go to the Bank of Dalaran and gain access.
If you ever need anything... you don't look a thing like him. Fine, let's have a look. It seems you bear his sigil. How'd you manage that? Welp, rules are rules. You tell that big lug that if he ever wants to pick up where we left off, he can pay me a visit. I'm here, every day, whatever the hour.
There seems like there's a story here to tell that I don't really want to know about, but in the vault we see a few Guardian Orbs trying to stop us from robbing the place, but they're easily dealt with and we quickly collect the powerful mana gems.
I trust the Baroness was still there? I don't know how old that elf is. I suppose even astral entities need a change of pace now and again. It's still a she, though, right?
It sure is, Elodie, and one day you'll have to share that tale. Now the next part for the ritual, it takes us to the Deadwind site, the spot where they experimented with the ritual. With any luck, we might find materials on this ritual that will aid us, and at the abandoned Kinator camp, we find a functional ward, we find some notes on the ritual, until the ghost of Marina shows up.
Are you here to take me away? Or do you only seek that which was left behind? I was told to stand watch, but no one ever came back for me. I wasn't strong enough to defend the site. Or perhaps I was simply here too long. I'm not sure anymore. If you want the ritual to work, you need the focus. I tried to keep it from the monsters, but I was too weak. It lies near my corpse. I think it's keeping me here. Please take it far away. Perhaps then I will finally be able to go home.
Sorry Marina, we had no idea that you were going to be here, but we'll be sure to take the ritual focusing crystal far away from here, so hopefully you can now rest in peace. That leaves only one more errand to run, finding Dio the Decrepit, a former mage, now turned warlock, who was instrumental in the original ritual. He most likely holds key information for this to work, so we fly out to the Tainted Scar for a little chat, and he tells us that as the ritual went wrong, Arexis was dragged screaming into the nether, and his entire entourage of mages were slaughtered. This was the ritual that made him give up the arcane and begin his personal quest to understand demons and their fell energies. Baladur is extremely dangerous, and he needs to know for certain that we're prepared, so he summons a few demons as a test.
Very well. Let us begin. Perhaps something easy to start. A few imps, perhaps? Easily defeated, but deadly in large numbers. Perhaps something that hits a little harder? I expected no less from one who wields crippling ice magic. But, how about a foe as skilled in spell casting as yourself? Well fought. But Baladur has been hunting mages for untold ages. Facing him will require mastery of all your abilities. For the final piece of the puzzle, a simple stone. A stone from Baladur's realm, left here by chance during one of his many ambushes. I gave Arexis a piece, so he could attune his ritual to demonic energies. You may have what remains of the stone. May it bring better luck to you.
And with that, we have all that we need to recreate the ritual, however flawed it may be. It must be conducted somewhere highly visible, so that word reaches our target swiftly. They've heard reports that the Legion is heavily invested in the Ferenar region in Azuna. That will be the perfect spot for us to conduct the ritual.
You arrived. I've already begun. I trust Elodie is with you?
I'm here, though my powers are weakened so far from the hall.
Do what you can, old friend. Welcome to Ferenar, a key invasion point for the Legion. While I distract the defenders below, you will set up the ritual wards at key locations. Here's a spell that will conjure the wards. 3 should be sufficient. When you are done, meet me at the Altar of End Times. Its location should be obvious. Good luck.
Filthy demons. They feed upon the blue dragon flight. Have all the defenders fallen? Here is good. This is what the Council was supposed to prevent. How could it have gone so wrong? That Legion vessel looming above shows what's at stake. Truly, this is a fight to save our world.
You've done it. I can feel arcane levels rising in the area. The demons have pulled back for the moment. I'd wager they plan to hit us hard. This next part is tricky. We will start the ritual here to draw all that power. As we do, it's likely we'll be attacked. I'll begin placing the mana gems. You will channel on the ritual focus. Once we gather sufficient magic, I expect we will get Balladur's attention. Prepare yourself, Conjurer. I don't expect Balladur to give us a particularly warm welcome. There, all the components are in place. Activate the ritual focus when you are ready. Good. Concentrate on building the ritual focus. I will do what I can to support you. That demon is Vedina, one of Balladur's enforcers. I think we have his attention. Aid me! Superb casting. Get back to the focus. I'll keep an eye out. Look out!
Did you really think your ploy would work? Come to me, little mage. For your insolence, your end will be painful and slow. This display is meaningless. Your doom is at hand.
Never again will you use Ebonchill to kill a mage, demon.
Bah! I need no meager weapon to destroy you! You possess the might of an archmage, but I'm not out of tricks yet. Your world will fall!
The portal is closing! Get out of there! Well done. Let's go before reinforcements arrive. I'll open a portal back to the hall.
And so, Balladur lies dead in his own realm, and we now wield Ebonchill. It is once again passed on into the hands of the mage, and old Filmuff, the tarot card librarian, he recognizes Elodai's old staff. In the days of the First Guardian, all the members of the Council of Tirisfal, they granted their powers to the young mage, in the hopes that he could overcome the Legion. None of them are alive today, but that staff of ours remembers. In the streets of Dalaran, we can find reflections of former council members, and each day we can talk to them. Doing this earns you a buff that increases experience and reputation gained by 5% while in the Broken Isles. That extra experience will definitely come in handy, as Frost Mages will now wield the mighty Ebonchill in the war against the Legion. I still wonder what that whole story with Elodai and the Banker is all about, but this is where we'll end the video for today. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos, leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and until next time, guys, see ya!